Afternoon. I want to start off by thanking a few people, and honestly, I know a lot of times people say, oh, it starts with a thank you. I can tell you it starts with the thank yous because that's what builds the teamwork, and the teamwork which has led us to success. So I want to thank automatically the ATF, Assistant Special Agent in Charge Craig Calamai. I can't say enough good things about the ATF. The Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Bureau was phenomenal. That is an understatement. The partnership with the Pasco Sheriff's Office in less than the past 24 hours, and this investigation was tremendous. The partnerships we've had and we continue to build are great, but it's because of that partnership we are much safer. State Attorney Bernie McCabe and the Assistant State Attorney Chris Labruzzo. Chris came out last night at midnight, was working with us. I can't thank them enough for their work. Hillsborough Sheriff Chad Chronister, the Chad and everybody in Hillsborough, they did a tremendous job partnering with us. Tampa Police, St. Pete Police, Florida Highway Patrol, and the Department of Transportation. I can tell you there are people at DOT right now that didn't get much sleep, but because of them, we're much more successful today. Just to give you a little recap of what happened, at 4:53 yesterday afternoon, the northbound exit of the Suncoast Expressway on the State Road 54, the victim was driving a pickup truck. There was two men on a motorcycle. They got off the motorcycle. The one suspect actually tapped on the window, got the attention of the victim, fired several shots, killing the victim. The other suspect did not fire any shots. His job was to finish the victim had the first shooter not killed him. The victim in this case is Paul Anderson. He is 44 years of age. He's the president of the Cross Bayou chapter of the Outlaw Motorcycle Club. That's right here in Pasco County. What we weren't able to provide last night was that there was a scout vehicle during this incident. And so all three, the two motorcycle vehicles and the scout vehicle was able to get away. But I can confirm to you that they're all members of the 69 Motorcycle Club, the 69ers. It goes back to this. It was teamwork. It's teamwork that is going to describe the success that we had in the past, let me say, probably 18 hours. The detectives, the analysts, ATF, the media, our citizens, everybody getting information out there. I can tell you what those people saw who were sitting there and witnessed that homicide. I described it last night. It was probably like a television show or a movie scene that they never thought they'd be live part of. The investigation that occurred shortly after that was nothing short of what you see on television. People coming together, sharing information, leading to success. Because of the investigative work, we were able to match the bikes from information we had from past events, from work that our detectives had done previously, working with ATF, from human intelligence, and from tips from the public. In Tampa last night, us along with ATF were sitting on a house where their second motorcycle rider was. Tampa police was able to take down that rider. That rider was Michael Dominic Mencher, M-E-N-C-H-E-R. His date of birth is 9/26/66. His nickname is Pumpkin. When you see the video of the shooting, the pictures that we had, he was the one with the Nazi helmet, and actually his tag, because of our investigations before, the bike would match up perfectly. The only thing he did was he flipped up his tag during the shooting, and then he put it back down again, but we were able to match him and arrest him last night in Tampa, thanks to Tampa PD. The driver of the scout vehicle was picked up at his girlfriend's house in St. Pete. His name was Alan Burt Guinto, G-U-I-N-T-O. His date of birth is 3/24/91. His nickname is Big B, B-E-E, like the bumblebee. ATF was able to locate the shooter, who was in Hillsborough, and Assistant Special Agent in Charge Calamai was actually part of the takedown team. His name was Christopher Brian Casamano. His nickname's Dirty with a U, D-U-R-T-Y. As I said, he was the shooter. He's the president of the 69ers. His date of birth is 1/21/88. It's Casamano, C-O-S-I-M-A-N-O. All three are going to be charged with first-degree premeditated murder. So I can recap the fact that in less than 24 hours, the the Pasco Sheriff's Office, along with ATF and numerous law enforcement partners, including the Department of Transportation, were able to apprehend these 3 suspects in this crime. And I can tell you there was a lot of people with the information out there. We thought it would take a little bit longer, but this is what it comes down to: teamwork. This comes down to people being, coming forward with information to law enforcement, and this goes back to great partnerships. I know some of the questions out there are reasons why. Why are the 69ers fighting the outlaws? I can tell you from all the information we have from our detectives, from the analysts, working with other agencies, is that there's been battles going on between the 69ers and the outlaws. Guinto, who was the one I described, was in the getaway, in the scout vehicle. He was beat up in a bar by the outlaws a little while ago. Those outlaws had attempted to run some of the 69ers off the road shortly ago. So there's been some feuding going back and forth between these 2 groups. The other question out there, will there be retaliation? I would hope and pray that there's not, but I believe there will be. We all believe there will be. We have information already that there's people from motorcycle clubs coming down into the state of Florida. So we're just asking anybody out there, if you see something, say something. Report it. If you see something suspicious, call law enforcement. We don't have to give your name. You can report anonymously, but we do not want a random person hurt. We do not want a random person killed. But we believe with these clubs, with the violence they've already demonstrated, with the homicide last night, we expect that there will be more violence in the Tampa Bay region because of this incident. Is this Agent Calamai? You want to say? Yep.
ATF always welcomes the opportunity to partnership with our local law enforcement agencies. When we learned of the situation yesterday and received the request, we brought every resource that ATF had, from our intelligence resource specialists to our agents to our investigators, to assist to bring these people to justice. These types of motorcycle clubs, outlaw motorcycle clubs in the area, won't be tolerated, and ATF is working diligently with all the partners in the Tampa Bay area to bring these individuals to justice. Thank you.
Is there any questions? I'm sorry, can you repeat? Yes. I'm not sure about that part of the investigation. I know it was another county. I don't have any, if that was a retaliation for that shooting or not. I can say everything that goes on between these clubs, it just keep heating up. You had one president of the 69ers kill the president of the Outlaws. There's no doubt in my mind there's going to be more violence because of this, unfortunately. But do you have anything to follow up on that one? Or? No. Okay.
How far reaching are these gangs? Because they say that they're riding down from out of state. I mean, is this across the country type of thing?
Yeah, these clubs are connected. They're organized. I mean, you hear motorcycle clubs, you see our outlaw motorcycle clubs. They're organized. They're organized crime, syndicates. So these guys, they're connected throughout the country. I mean, it was amazing to us, the information that we received only a few short hours after the shooting, that people were riding down looking to find out where Pasco was, where Tampa Bay, how to get here. So yeah, we already know there's information out there. There was basically where the motorcycle guys get together, bike nights, they were already talking about it. They're sharing information, so word spreads very quickly. I can tell you, just because those 3 have been arrested, that does not mean it's the end of this. There's going to be, unfortunately, more violence that goes on.
What do people need to be on the lookout for?
The one thing is we don't want people to, go out of their way to try to identify people to get it to us. We do never want anybody to put themselves in harm's way. But if they see something that just stands out, if they see people with out-of-state tags, they see bikes or something, just let law enforcement know. If they see people congregating together that don't usually congregate together at houses, just call law enforcement. Let us handle it. You do not have to be a part of this. We got numerous calls last night that were anonymous. People did not want to associate their names or information, and they won't. And that's what we want to get out there, is saying if you see something suspicious, something out of the ordinary, you see a pack of bikers riding together, that you see rockers on them, and the rockers would have outlaws, it would have where they're from underneath, the county or the state, notify us. we need to be aware of these type of things, because that's only going to allow us to identify people to try to prevent another crime. And that's what I tell you. Sometimes bad things happen to bad people. But what we don't want is innocent people to get hurt. The incident in Tampa, there was an incident in Tampa. I'm not sure about the video that you saw, but I can tell you there was the incident. That's when we arrested Pumpkin last night. So that may be related to, Pumpkin was arrested in Tampa. We thank Tampa for assisting with the takedown. So he was arrested down there. So that may be, that's what I believe it was. Right. So that was it? Yep. Yeah, I remember some major crimes also was. That's Pumpkin's bike. Yeah, the Cracker Bolt's the neo-Nazi sign. I mean, that doesn't mean they're automatically affiliated to Nazis. We know that the one percenters for years have had the Cracker, those lightning bolts, the SS bolts. So I wouldn't say it directly automatically assumes that they're part of a neo-Nazi group. Not the least. That's just some insignia they've been wearing for years that's been associated with the outlaw. So if we did have that information, we would share it immediately. But there's nothing that says they're part of a neo-Nazi group. It just says they're part of an outlaw motorcycle group. That's one of the victim's picture is up there. We can, and we'll get it for you. Yeah, we will get it out there for you. Right now, that's the shooter. That's the other driver of the motorcycle. That's the victim.
Can you tell us how influential the president or one of these motorcycle gangs is? Like, how far reaching is power?
They call the shots. I mean, if you're the president, you call the shots. If you're the president of presidents, you really call the shots. They weren't that high of a level, but that's, you know, for a president to kill another president, and that's why the question before about, you know, why are people nationally coming in? This is no different than when you talk about organized crime. It had been the Italian mafia in other parts of the country or other type of organized crime groups. That's a big deal when you take out a president. So, and these groups don't take it lightly. And we don't take it lightly because we know what it means. We know that there will be more violence. Yeah, we knew the victim, the president. We've been in contact with him in the past. We've had dealings with him in the past. It was actually ironic. One of the sergeants who was out here last night, the victim had actually threatened him and said he was going to kill him years ago. So that's what I said. From our standpoint, we know these people. We have detectives that are constantly out there working, talking to them, trying to find out what's happening. We knew some of the stuff on the radar. We knew that there was some infighting going on, but it's been escalating. And last night escalated to a shooting. And for us, as I said, they kill each other in their own houses. Bad things happen to bad people. But when you do it on a highway, a public highway, in broad daylight, where there are citizens, yeah, we're going to take that very personally, and we're going to throw everything we can have it, because we do not want an innocent person killed. How many people in these separate groups? You could be talking about up to 100 people in each of the separate groups, their own chapters, but then you're talking thousands, tens of thousands of people when you talk nationally. I mean, the one thing about these, you know, the organized crime, the motorcycle clubs, a lot of people have a strict stereotype that they're big guys, they wear their rockers, no shirt underneath it, jeans, and they don't work. Don't be disillusioned. There's a lot of professionals in these groups. There are lawyers, there are professionals in public safety, unfortunately, that are involved in these groups. There are people that have 9-to-5 jobs, they're in hospitals, they're nurses. So for people to automatically assume that all they are, they're in the bars, they're in the strip joints, they're dealing in human trafficking, they're dealing in drugs, those clubs are in those groups, but they have people in those clubs that are truly professional organizations that a normal person would say, hey, they're a nurse, and hold them to that higher level. But then when they're not working as a nurse, they're out here committing crime. All right. Well, I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you very much.